Hello everyone, welcome back to Code to Serve Academy. Today we are going to learn about an important chapter that is string. String plays a vital role in any programming language. So it becomes very essential to learn how to handle string. And it is also very important for your exam point of view. So let's get started and see what are the different topics that we are going to cover in this lecture. So the first topic that we are going to cover is the introduction. So in this, we are going to see what is a string. Next, we are going to see how we can handle string in Java. So basically, Java provides three classes to handle string. First is a string class, second is a string buffer, third is a string builder. String buffer and string builder are not in the syllabus. So for this lecture, we are only going to cover string. But at the end, we will see the basic of string buffer. Next, we are going to see how to create and use strings. We are going to cover the syntax and also the different ways to declare string. And then we are going to see about an important concept that is a mutable and immutable with an example. Next, it is very important to know about the different string method classes available inside string. So we are going to cover the most important methods, and it becomes very important to know all these methods. Once we get the concepts of all these methods, we can easily implement those in the program and can solve the complex problem. At the end, we are going to see about the string buffer. So let's get started with the first topic is the introduction. So what really a string is? So to get this answer, first we need to understand what is character. So in Java or in any programming language, in most of the programming language, we represent a character like in single quote. So single quote, if I say single quote A, that means it is a character. That means we can store only one character inside it. Similarly, I can write B or small c or small a, anything, this becomes character. Similar to this, if we combine multiple of characters into one, that becomes a string. So if I say A, B, C, if we combine these three character, this becomes string. So what is the difference? Here in Java, we store character in a single quote using single quote and string using double quotes. So whenever we represent double quotes, that means it is a string. Even in a string, we can represent a single character, but this is a character and this is a string. Okay, now let us see how basically we can refer the locations or the positions inside the strings. So I mean, suppose we have A, B, C. We have already learned about arrays. So similar to that, we can get the concept in string as well. So in string, if I say index 0, that means it points to the first character. Similarly, if I say index 1, 2, and so on, it represents the character at that particular position, and we call this as index. So at any given position, we will find a character inside that length. Okay, so this was the basic what is string, and we are going to see how to declare a string in the upcoming section. Okay, so let's see the second topic that we have, that is about the syntax and use. So we have already covered about the basics, introductions. We already know like string. In Java we have three classes to handle the string. and we have already learned about the string class itself. Okay, so as I told you, what is string? String is a sequence of character. String is sequence of character, and it is also important to note string is immutable. I'll talk about what is immutable and mutable at the later, but for now, let us keep in mind that the string is immutable. Similarly, if I say string buffer, so string buffer is also the combination of character. That is a sequence of character, but there is some difference, right? So for now, just keep in mind like a string buffer is mutable, whereas string is immutable. Okay, similarly to this, string builder is also mutable, and it also stores combination of character, that is a sequence of character. Since these are not in syllabus, so we are only going to cover the basics of it. Okay, now let us see how to create string. Okay, so we have a string. Once we write string and then the variable name, and as I already told you, we can store the string using the double quotes. So here we have to write string and then the variable name and then the value to it, that is using string literals. So using string literals we can declare the string, or using the class constructor, that is using the new keyword. So let's see what is the difference between these two. Okay, so when I say string, suppose using the string literals, suppose string A, I am telling hello, right? And the next I am telling string B is equals to hello. Okay, so these two are different string. Now first let's understand how Java keeps a string and where basically it keeps the string. So there is two types of memory you can think of. One is the stack memory, and one is the heap memory. This is stack and this is heap. Okay, so you already know like the execution starts from main, so all those execution, whatever is the sequence, those execution are stored in the form of stacks. If first is your main method is called, so first your main will be in the call stack. Similarly inside the main, if you call any other method, then that method will be in the top of that. Similarly other methods goes on the top of that. Now, the execution, as you know, stack means what? One upon the another, and the execution always happens from the top. Okay, so whatever method is there inside in the top, first that will get resolved, then the control will come back to the previous one, similarly to the previous one, and then finally the main method will end or terminate, right? Now, suppose any method, so wherever you find any method and that method uses string, so where that is getting created or getting stored. So suppose I'm declaring here inside one method, say hello is the method, and inside this I'm declaring one string that says a. Here inside this method string is declared a, and suppose its value is hello. So with this there is a string pool, and you can think of as a string pool here. You can think of as a string pool inside the heap. And what happens now, you are saying a, that means, and a is storing hello. So what will happen, it will inside the pool, it will store a and it will point this hello. Okay, so what happens, the variable that you have declared now hello is present inside the string pool. Now what happens? You have also declared, suppose you have also declared B. You have also declared B, and B's value is also hello. So instead of creating another hello, first it checks in the string pool. So this is what? This is your string pool. And as I told you, inside the heap there is a string pool, right? And there is another other space for the objects that I'm going to cover next. Okay, so first understand here, like I have declared a, and a value is hello for now. So where it is going to store? It is going to be stored in the string pool. Similarly, I created one other variable that says b, and that value is also hello. Where that is going to stored? It is also going to be stored in the string pool. But here, as already hello is present inside the string pool, Java is not going to create one more literals that says hello, right? Here it is going to point the same value. It is going to point the same value. But now, suppose, but now I say b is equals to world, right? Now I say b is equals to world. That means a value has changed, and the reference to this is no more correct. Okay, the reference to this is no more correct. Now here what will happen? B will refer to the another literal in the string pool, that is like here. Now it will refer to world, and that is also present inside the string pool, right? So now we have covered how basically whenever we declare using the string literals, where string is getting saved or stored, right? Now, now once we declare using string buffer, sorry, now come back to the string itself, now using the class constructor. Now we say string a is equals to new string, and in this we are saying hello, right? Now we are saying hello. So in this, what happens? Last time when we were creating the string using string literals, so basically it was getting stored in the string pool. But now what is happening? Instead of getting stored in the string pool, it is getting directly stored inside the heap, not inside the string pool. So now this a will point, now this a will point to inside the string, it will point inside the heap itself, but not inside the string pool. That is, it has got a new memory location, okay, that is inside the heap. Now there is one more hello that points to this. Got the point? Now suppose if you create one more string that says b is equals to new string, and that says still hello. So what will happen? It still says hello, but the last time when we created using string literal, then it was pointing to the same value. But here we have created two objects, that is two instance, and these two instances are different. That means they will have a different memory locations in the memory. Okay, so here what will happen? One more hello will be created. Assume hello is present over here and its value is hello. Okay, and now this b is going to point this hello. Got it? So this was the basics that is not there in your book, but it is a concept that you have to remember for your future point of view. Okay, now let's see the remaining topic. Okay, so we have already covered about the string, how to declare it. Now the next topic, that is mutable and immutable, right? So mutable means what? Understand the concept of mutable and immutable. If I say string, where string was getting stored inside the string pool. As I told you, if we directly create using the string literal, right? Now if I say string a is equals to hello, okay, right? Now directly after declaring, I say a is equals to world, right? So previously it was hello, now it has changed to world. Now what will happen? So instead of changing, suppose a initially was hello, now a is pointing to world. That means what has happened? That means the value of a hasn't changed. We are not able to change the value of a, right? Instead, a new value locations is getting assigned to a. So that is immutable. Immutable is like once you declare, you are not able to change the state of that variable. That means you are not able to change here itself in the same memory location, right? Even though we are able to change it, but the change is taking place in a new memory location. So this is immutable. And what is mutable? String buffer is mutable. That means what happens if you declare using a string buffer. Suppose there is a string buffer, similar to how we declare a string. So using an object, so we can write here string buffer sp is equals to new string buffer, and here suppose if I pass hello, right? So now what happens? It is pointing here, and it is, suppose hello is stored here, the capital H. Now, if you want to change the value at the position 1, that is, now suppose if I want to change the position value at the index 0 and change H to E, now I want to change H to E, or I want to add one more character, suppose I want to add double E. Previously it was a single E and now I want to add one more E. That means it is possible inside the same memory location. That means we are able to change in the same memory location. We are able to change the state of that object in the same memory location. That is why we call it as a mutable. So just to remember one point, immutable means we are not able to change the state of that variable or the object, but in case of a mutable, we are able to change the state of that object, right? Change doesn't means we are not able to update the value. We are able to update the value, but not in the same memory location, right? So this is very important, and in your exam also it can be asked the difference between mutable and immutable, right? So we already covered this. This is one comparison that is not really important, but if you remember, it is very good. Like where it is stored, where string is stored in the string pool. That is a part of a heap itself, but string buffer is directly stored inside the heap. How? If we create a string and a string buffer using an object, if you create, both are stored inside the directly inside the heap. And when you do the modification, as I already told you, in case of a string, when you do a modification, a new object is created, right? But in case of a modification, it points to the same existing uh, object in case of a string buffer, right? And these two are not important for you, even though like what happens, like suppose as I already mentioned, if I can go back over here, and if I already mentioned, suppose a was pointing to hello, and the next time we say a is pointing to world. Now suppose these were created using object. So what happens when you change the value, basically when you change the value, so what happens, garbage collector collects those unused value, right? So that is what happens, like the garbage collector runs in the background, and whatever variables or whatever the object that is now not being used is collected by the garbage collector, and that memory whatever it was utilizing, that gets freed up. Okay, so let's move to the important topic of this chapter, that is string methods. Okay, so string methods. So here are the different methods that we are going to learn, uh, and out of that, the first is charAt. So let us see what charAt means. As here we can see string dot charAt 0. Okay, so let's go back here and see what this charAt means. As I already mentioned you, like whenever you see a string, just visualize it like a array. So if you visualize that as an array, it will become very easy for you. Suppose there is a word, uh, a string that is, so let us take an example. Suppose there is a code to serve. So if this is a string, suppose, so what charAt is doing is like, first, as I have already mentioned, like you have to think as how we were thinking in terms of array, right? So suppose in array we were basically accessing using the indexes. Similarly here, if we assume this is index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, now if I say this is string str is equals to code to serve, right? Now here if I say str dot char at 0, that means we are trying to access the character present inside the first index. So here that is a 0th index. So indexing starts from 0. So in the 0th index, what is present? C. So this will return C. Okay, so what is a return type of charAt? So whatever methods we are going to learn will basically a camel case. Camel case here, it means the first character, the first word will be in small, and the next word that is getting attached, that will become, the first letter will become capital. So here you see the char is one and at is another word. So when we combine both, first words start with an small caps, and when we concat two words, the second word's first letter is in capital letter, that we say camel case. So most of the methods that we are going to see will be in camel case. Okay, so here we got the point, like after writing this we will get back one character. So the return type of this is character, CHAR. So in this character C, we will get one character. Similarly, if we say char str char at I and we say 9, so we are going to get E. Okay. So based on the position, we are trying to access the character present inside that string. All right. Now let us see the remaining methods. So the next method that we have is, first we have already learned about the charAt. The next method that we are going to see is compareTo. Okay, so compareTo basically compares the two strings lexicographically. What is lexicographically? Lexicographically is how the words are arranged in the dictionary. So first in the dictionary you will find A, then B, or there is another word with A. So first all the letters, all the word that is starting with A will be present. Then if there is second A, then that word will be present, right? So on. So this is basically lexicographically. So if you want to compare lexicographically two string, we can take help of this compare to. And what compare to returns? When basically the first string is less than the second string, that means you will get negative. Similarly, if both the string are same, then you are going to get 0. And similarly, if the first string is greater than the second string, so you are going to get positive number. And what this number represent? These number represent an ASCII value. So you already are aware of, like, the ASCII value of capital A is 65 and capital Z is 90. And similarly for small a it is 97 and small z it is 122. Okay, so whenever you compare two strings, so you are going to get the ASCII value, that is a difference. And let us take an example, then it will become very clear. Okay, suppose the word here is A, B, C. This is string 1. And similarly, we have another string that is A, B, D. Okay, so we have two strings. So when we'll compare string 1, take this one as a string 1 and this one as string 2. When we'll compare string 1 with string 2, that is, first we are comparing the first index, that is index A, the index 0 of string 1 is compared with the index 0 of the string 2. And here also we have A and here also we have A. That means ASCII of A is 97 and ASCII of this A is also 97. So when both the character is same, then we move for the next comparison. Okay, so the next comparison is B. So index 1 in the first string is B, and similarly here also we have B. So same thing will happen, and this time it will be 98 and 98. So 98 minus 98 again 0. So it will move forward. So whenever there is a match, it moves forward. Now you see here it is C and here it is D. So ASCII value of C is 99 whereas D is 100. Now, if you see which one is greater, I mean, which one is greater here, if you uh, see 99 minus 100, that means you are getting minus 1. Minus 1 means that is a negative, that is a first string is lexicographically smaller. And here we can see ABC is smaller than ABD. Now you got the point. Like, you have to compare the position of the index by index, that is a index 0 being compared with index 0 of the second string, index 1 being compared with the index 1. Similarly, by till what you have to go on comparison until you don't get a difference. That means here we got a difference. Here was C, here was D. We will stop and it will return the first difference. The first difference here was minus 1, so it will return minus 1. Got it? If suppose here also it was D and here also it was D, in that case this will also be 100 and this will be also 100. That means it will become 0, and in this case it will be returned 0. That means both the string are same. Got it? So now let's take an example, couple of example, and based on that we'll get some concepts. Okay, so here we have here we have string 1 that says apple and string 2 as banana, and again we have string 3 that is first letter is capital and that it says apple, and then the fourth that is small apple again. So the first question is string 1 dot compare to. I'm comparing string 1. What is string 1? String 1 is apple. Okay. And what is string 2? String 2 is banana. Okay. So what will happen? So first A will get compared with A. So A will get comparison with A. Now we see A ASCII is what? ASCII of A is 97 and ASCII of B is 98. So which one is in the first position? STR1 is the first position. So you have to take the STR1 first, then the STR2. That means 97 minus 98, that we get -1. So in the first position only we got the difference. That means we have to return that value, whatever is the first difference. The first difference is -1. So -1 is going to get returned and the answer for this will be -1. Okay, so answer, I should note it down. So answer for this is -1. Okay, similarly, answer for this, what we got? -1. Next, we have STR1 comparison with STR3. So STR1 is your banana and apple, and STR2 is banana, and STR3 is again apple but with capital, first letter with capital. Okay, so here what we see, when we compare STR1 with 3, when 1 and 3 are getting compared, that means ASCII of small a is 97 but ASCII of capital A is 65. Got it? So in this case, STR1, that is small apple, will be in the first, and similarly, capital A will be on the second. So we say 97 minus 65. Okay. So the difference becomes 2 and 3, 32. So here we will get positive value. So in this case, we are getting positive value. That is, small cap letter is having the highest ASCII value than the capital case letter. Okay, so in this case, we will get plus 32. That is a positive value. And so on, you can find for the remaining question that is present over here. We'll move towards the next method that we have, that is a compare to but ignore case. So the previous comparison that we did was case sensitive, and in this case it is basically case insensitive. So what it was returning the last time, it was returning integer. Similarly here also it is returning integer, but the only difference is this is case insensitive. Now it will be the result of the first question will be same, result of the first question will be same whatever we had, but in the second case, basically like where we are comparing uh, s- apples with the small case and apple with first with the capital case, here both will be compared in the same case. Take an example. Let's suppose 97 minus 97, here it will be 0. So in this case it will be returned 0 and it will compare as both the strings are same. So this was a concept of lexicographical comparison, that is compare to. So this is very important. We are going to use these in the most of the programs. Next we have concat. So what is concat? So concat means if you are trying to combine two strings together, that is concat. So take an example. If you have first is code to serve and the second one is academy. So if you do s1 plus s2, what you do, suppose if you have 2 and if you have 3 and both are integer, you will get 5 as a result, right? This happens in the case of integer. Similarly, in case of a string, when you do plus in between those, that means concatenation happens. That means the second string will be appended at the end of the first string. Okay, so here what is written, str1 plus str2. That means str1 will be in the front and then str2 will come. Okay, so if we say code to serve, that is a first string, and then we have a string 2 that says academy. So what will happen, code to serve and academy will be concatenated together and there will be no space in between. Okay, so first one is code to serve, and since we haven't given any space, so it will be printed like code to serve academy. Got it? But in the next that we have result 1, there also it happens the same. Either we use the method or we do simple plus. So we can do s1 dot concat. So whatever methods that we have, we can access using the dot operator, right? So we do s1 dot, that means we are trying to get all the method that is available inside the string. So in the method, we know like concat is also available. In concat, we have to pass another string. What is another string that we are passing here? That is str2. So first your str1 will be in the first and then the str2 will be appended at the back of the first string. Okay. Next we have is, okay. So next we already covered this concat. Next we have ends with. So what is ends with? Suppose you are trying to find whether it ends with a certain characters or not. Okay, so here there is a suffix, that means you can search for combination of character, that is a string. Okay, so what is a return type of this is boolean. That means you are trying to find whether this string ends with this suffix or not. Okay, so this will return what, boolean, yes or no, right? So here we see the first str1 contains code to serve and the str2 contains academy. And now if I say str1 ends with RVE, so does code to serve end with RVE? Code to serve, does it end with RVE? Yes, it ends with RVE. So what will be the output of the first? The first one output will be yes, that is true. Boolean value will be true. So the first output is true. Got it? Similarly, the second one, does str1 ends with VVE? VVE. It ends with VE but doesn't ends with VVE. That means this will result into false. So we'll get the output false. The third one, that is E. Does code to serve ends with E? Yes, it ends with E. So it will result in true. Next we have the last one, that str1, here we can do the correction. Here it is written str3. Here we can point str1 itself. Okay, so str1 ends with E. Yes, it ends with E. And then we have str1 ends with code to serve. That is a complete string itself. That is also correct. It ends with, if we write the complete string, that means if we are comparing, does it ends with complete string? Yes, it ends with complete string. So here the last output will be also true. Okay, so by this you can also solve other problem based on these methods and you'll get the concept very clear. Okay, let's see the next topic that we have is the next method, that is a string starts with. We already learned what is ends with. and now we are learning starts with. It is similar to what it was ends with, but here we are checking the prefix. That is this string starts with this prefix. If the string starts with the given prefix, that means it will return true, else it will return false. So here we can again see, take an example, and you can pause the video and write your answer. What are the answer of these result 1, 2, 3? Basically here it should be 4. Let me correct that. So quickly write down the answer what you are getting. So let's see. First one that is we have also let's correct here str1. Okay. So str1 dot ends starts with cod. Does it start with cod? It is a case sensitive. So it starts with C but with a capital. So here the first output will be false. What is the second one? Second one says CODE. Yes, it starts with CODE. That means it will be true. Third one we have starts with ODE. ODE, it starts with C but not with O. That means it will be false. Fourth that we have is starts with code to serve. Yes, we are trying to compare the complete string. That means that is also true. It starts with that string itself. So the last one we will have true. I hope it is very clear. Still, if you have any doubt, write down your concern in the comment box. Okay. Next, let us see equals. So equals, we have already learned about compare to. It is very much similar, but here we don't get the number as a return type. Rather, here we get a boolean as a return type. Equals means you are trying to compare two string. Is this string equal to this string? If they both are equal, that means it has the same number of characters and all the characters are same, then we say both the string are equal. Okay, so we have method that says equals, and that we can compare two string whether they are equal or not. That means the length and all the characters are same or not. So here take an example. We have code to serve, that is a string 1, and we have string 2 that says academy. Let me correct this here as well. Okay, so here we have str1 dot equals str2. Is code to serve equal to academy? So if you take an example, code to serve, and here we have academy. So is it same? First letter, when it compares to the first letter, ASCII of C is 90, 7 is for A. If you take the capital, then 65 for A, 66 for B, and 67 for C. So what will happen? It will be 67 minus 65. Okay. So here you are getting 2. So first 67 and the second one is 65. You are getting 2. That is, there is a difference. So in this case, what it says, if there is a difference, don't return the ASCII, rather return true or false. So here, what will be the output? Here the output will be false. So the first output is false. Let me write down here. First is false. What about the second? Is it equal to code to serve? Equals code to serve? Here, this is also case sensitive. Equals is a case sensitive. So it starts with code to serve. It is equal to code to serve, but C and S starts with capital. So in this case, it will be false. Similarly, if we see the third, So here it is code to serve with the same case, and all the characters are same plus the length is same. So in this case it will be, in the third output will be true. Okay, so next is with ignore case. It is similar to the previous one, but in this case, the second output that we are having here equals ignore case, and with the capitals small c and small s, it will result into true, right? So this, it is same to the previous one, but the only difference is now it will not check the case, right? Now let us see. You can pause the video, uh, solve it, and then you can move forward along with me. Okay, next we have index of. So here index of means like you are passing the character and trying to find out where that character is present. And in this case, it will give the first occurrence where that character is present. Okay, now take an example. Here we have the string 1 that says code to serve, and the string 2 that says academy. Okay, so in this case we are telling str1 dot index of e. So what is the index of e? Code to serve. So this is 0th index, 1 index, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So E is present at the two location. One is at the position 3 and one at the position 6. So it will return the first occurrence where E is occurring at the first time. First time it is occurring at the position 2. So it will return 2 as an output. So the answer of first is 2. So the return type of index of is integer. We are passing what we are saying, index of. What is the index of this character? Index of this character is 2 in this case. Similarly, if you're passing index of 2, that means you are trying to find 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So index of 2 will be 4. Similarly, if we say str1 dot index of 3, let me again correct it here. It is str1. So str1 of index 2 is what? Index 2 is 4. Similarly, and what is the third one? Third one says str of index 3. So here 3 is not present, and when that character is not present, it will return -1, and for the remaining time it will return the position where that character is present. Okay, so in this case it will return -1, and if it returns -1, that means that character is not present inside that string. Hope it is clear. Next, we have index of, but in this case, in the last case, we were passing the character, that is a single character. But in this case, we can pass as a string. So if we say, what is the index of E2? E2, so we can say like CODE to SERVE. So this is the index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So the first index where E2 is starting is 0, 1, 2, and 3. It is at the index 3. So we will get the output of the first as 3. All right. Similarly, you can solve the remaining problem and let me know if you have any doubt. Okay. Next is the length. So length basically returns as an integer. That is, what is the length of the string? It will return the count. So internally, computer or any programming language, it refers from the index 0. But when you count it, start with counting from 1. Okay, so if you see here we have code to serve. So index is 9, the last index is 9, but what is the length of that? The length is 10. Okay, so if I write here CODE 2, so it is 0th index, 1 index, 2 index, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Index is 9, but if we start counting from 1, so the last index value will be 10. So what is the length of the string? The length of the string is 10. Similarly, if we say str2 dot length, so it will return the length of academy, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so the first output is 10 and the second output is 7. Okay, next we have replace. Next we have is replace. So in replace, basically what we are telling is whatever the string is there, we are trying to replace the old character with some new character. So here, if you see an example, like we are telling str1 dot replace 2 with 3. That means wherever 2 is present, let's replace with 3. So in this case, we are passing character. So if we are passing character, the first parameter should also be character and the second parameter should also be a character. So here we are saying replace 2 with 3. So initially the string is code to serve, CODE 2. Now it will get replaced with CODE 2 will get replaced with 3. So wherever this 2 is present and how many times it is present, by that time it will get replaced with 3. Okay, code 3 serve. Okay, so this will be the output. Next we have similarly str2 dot replace a with small a. So wherever we have a in str2, we have only one a in the starting position. That means it will replace the capital A with small a. Okay, so it is academy, and in this case we are trying to say like replace this capital A with small a, so now it will be academy. Okay, I hope it is very clear. By the name it suggests like what is it is trying to do, and the functionality is similar to what the name is, right? Next let's see, we have covered this. Similar to this we have a replace, and in the same replace, like the previous one we were passing the character, now we can pass the sequence of character, that is string. So if we are passing the first parameter as string, the second replacement should also be a string. Okay, so here if you take an example, we say 2s replaced with 3s. So wherever 2s is present, it will get replaced with 3s. And similarly, here we have this first one is very much clear. You can answer this. But the second one here, it says double A with small a. So there is an error. Like we cannot store this double A into single quote, because string can only be stored in double quote. If we are trying to store in single quote, it will give an error, because inside character we can store only single character, but here we are trying to store two character. So actually it should be double A, and we are trying to replace with single A. But this is not present inside, the academy. Double A is not present. In that scenario, when that replacement itself is not present, in that case basically it will return the same string, right? It is going to return the same string. So in this case the output of the second one will be academy itself. So let me write down the answer of this. Here it will be academy itself. And for the first one that we have, that is code to serve, so here basically it will get replaced with 2s is going to get replaced with 3s. So we will get the output code 3 serve. Got it? So you can practice more problem in this. So replace, I hope it's very much clear. And what it is going to return? It is going to return a new string, as we already saw here. It is going to return a new string, and this replace is also a case sensitive, right? Next, we have the substring. This method is also very important. Here, what substring means? Substring means you are slicing a portion out of a given string. So here if we say the first string is str1, and after slicing it returns back the portion of the string. Suppose here is a long string, and in that long string you want to get the, suppose, this portion of the string. That means you are slicing the part from original string and you are getting back a new string, that is the sliced string, right? So if you require to slice this any portion, that is from the beginning or in the middle or from the end, so basically we can do using the to approach. So in this substring that we are seeing here, that says the first parameter is int begin with, that is a begin index, sorry. So begin index is like from where you want to start the slicing. It is 0th index, 1 index, 2 index, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now if you pass 5, so that means slicing will happen from the 5. Now if you say starting with 3, that means the index 3 will be included. So starting index is included. So if I am telling slice, that is a substring from index 3. So if I am passing only first parameter, that is index 3, that means from the index 3 it will start the slice and it will go till the end of the string. That is, the end of the string is till here. So if I say slice 3, that is a substring 3, it is going to return whatever is present from the index 3 till the last of that string, that is the last index of that string. So in this case, if we say substring 5, that is from fifth position, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is from S, it is going to give till E. So the output is going to be for the first one is SERVE, serve. Okay. Similarly, you can solve for the second one. Second one says here there is a mistake, so it says substring. So let me replace this with substring. So the first one output is serve. Similarly, what is the output of the second one? Second one, it says academy. And how, from where we are trying to slice? From the 0th index. That means we are trying to slice from the 0th index and we are trying to go till the end of this. That means a complete string. So in this case, we'll get complete academy. Okay. Next, let us see the same substring, but in this case we are passing the starting index, that is a begin index, and the end index. So when we are passing two parameter, remember this thing, when we are passing first only one parameter, that means it is a starting index. Now if you pass two parameter, that is first one is your begin index and the second one is your end index, and whenever you pass two parameter, the end index is not included. Okay, that is exclusive. So here in now you see like the first one we are telling 5 to 8. That is, we are trying to slice, from the fifth index. That is, fifth index is from S and we are going to go till this is fifth, 6, 7 and 8. So what we are getting the output is SERV. Okay, now if you take an example str2, we are telling from 0 give me slice of 10. The length is 7 but we are telling 7. That means we are going bound of that a string, like beyond that string, that means this is an error. Okay, this will give an error. Okay, string out of bound memory exception, that is the exact error what you will get. Okay, so you have to just remember, if you are trying to access something outside of the string that is not available, index 10 is not available, the last index is 6, but you are trying to access index 10 as well, so that means that is a string index 9. Okay, so here is one thing, like as I mentioned you, last index is not included. So if this is 5, this is 6, this is 7, and this is 8, so in this case v will not be included. Okay, that was a mistake. So here you say like the I have to include from 0 till index 9, but index 9 is not in the scope. Okay, so you will get an error in this scenario. All right, next we have is a lowercase. Okay, so lowercase means whatever case you are passing, like it is a combination of upper and lower. Now when you say to lowercase, that means you are converting all the character to lowercase. Even though that was in uppercase, it will get converted into lowercase, and if it was in lowercase, it will still remain in the lowercase. So what will be the output of the first one? So let's go here, and the output will be all lowercase. So here we see one camel, that is a capital, and S as a capital, and the remaining will be like here it will not change for the numeric or the anything. Here for the only for the alphabet it will check. If it is in uppercase, it will convert to lowercase, and if it is in lowercase, it will leave as it is. So we will get the output port to sub, all in small cap. Similarly, if we do the output for the second one, we will get an academy. Right? Okay. Now let's see the second one. That is a lowercase we already have seen. Now let's see the uppercase. So uppercase, it is similar to lowercase, but in this scenario, what is happening? Whatever the case is, it will convert all the case to an uppercase. So in this case, the output will be all in caps. So we can write, okay. Similarly, we can write for this as well, like str2 dot uppercase. That means we are trying to convert all the character into an uppercase. Okay. Next, we have trim. What is trim? Trim basically removes the starting, that is a leading, and the trailing white spaces. So here in the str1, we can see there is lot of white space in the beginning and lot of white space in the end. When we do a trim doesn't accept any parameter, right? There is no argument it receives, and it returns the string itself. So what it will do, it will trim down the leading and the trailing white spaces. So all the white spaces will get removed and we will get only the string. So in the first case, all the beginning and the end white space will get removed and we will end with code to serve. And in the second case, we have only the starting spaces, and that will get removed and we'll get academy. But in the second case, you see in start we have the white space, in between we have white space, and at the end we have the white space. In this scenario, it will only remove the starting and the beginning, not from the middle. So whatever white space is there in between, it will be the same as it is, but only the starting and the ending white space will get removed. Okay, so you can write down the answers what we have discussed right now. Let's move to the next one, that is value of. Okay, so what value of is returning? So value of returns an string itself. Now what happens if you have any other data type, like if you have any character, take an example, if it is uh, Now suppose you have character and you want to convert that to a string. How you can do that? So character is present in a single quote. Now you want to convert into double quote. So how you can do that? You can do using value of. So if you do string dot value of, this single quote will get converted into double quote. Similarly, if you want 1, 2, 3, this is a number, that is an integer, and if you want to convert it into a string, that means in double quote 1, 2, 3, you can use string dot value of. So here you can see the example, like you have a result one that says string dot value of n1. So here, what is n1? N1 is in double. Now you are trying to convert double into a string. So initially it was 32.5 in double. Now it will be 32.5 in string. Okay. Second one that we have, here you don't need to show like in double quote, but when you do the output, you don't get double quote, rather it is 32.5. But here you have to understand that is the data type of this will be an string rather than double. Similarly, if you do 32, so here it will be like 32. You have to just assume like it is in double quote, but the output will be 32 itself. Okay. I hope it is clear. Next, let us see. Let me remove this. This is not part. Next, we have toString. So this is not important for now, but just for toString, just remember, like we can convert the strings that here you can see scanner object is created, and we can convert any object or anything probably to and string format. So wherever we apply toString for to that particular object or that particular class, and we can also override this. So this is not that important to you all. Just remember like toString also returns a string itself. That's it. So we have covered all the important methods, and you have to keep in mind all these methods, what are the parameter that it accepts and what is the return type of this. If we know this, then only probably we will be able to apply these into the problem. So let us see some output based question. So the first question that says is state the value of C and Mantissa. So what will be the value of C and Mantissa? Here it says S is 4.375. Okay. So S value is in, it is a double, but it is in the form of a string. It double quotes, that is, it is in the form of a string. Now it says S dot index of. We have learned what is index of. Index of basically returns an integer value where that character is present. So in index of, if you pass a single character, that means it is going to return the position of that character. So where this dot is present, this is index 0 and this is dot is index 1. So this dot is present inside the, that is present in the index 1. So n is what? N is storing index 1. So n value is 1 for now. Now what is C value? C says integer dot parse int. That means we are trying to typecast whatever is present inside this. What is present inside this? S dot substring. So S is 4.375. S is 4.375, and we are saying S dot substring. We have learned what is substring. Substring means slicing, and we are saying slice from the 0th position till the nth position, and nth position is not included. That means we are trying to slice from 0 to 1, and 1 is not included. That means you will get one character, and one character that you are getting after slicing, that is a substring, is 4. So you are telling by slicing this will return as a this will return as a string 4. So here where you see s dot substring 0 comma n, that will return as string 4 in the form of a string. That means here it is returning in the form of a string. Okay, this is returning 4, but this is in the form of a string. Okay, now we are telling convert this string into an integer. So when you convert this string, how you do that? Integer dot parse int. So after converting, this string will now become an integer. So what will be the value of c? The value of c will become 4. Okay, now we say Mantissa. So one more variable is there that says Mantissa. Okay, and what will be the value of this? It says string dot value of. Like here we have read about string dot value of, here we have integer dot value of. Value of means you are trying to convert again back whatever the type of is, right? So here s dot substring, you are telling n plus 1. That means start from n plus 1. N plus 1 is 1. N plus 1 is 1. That is start from n plus 1, that is 2. So this was index 0, this was index 1, this is index 2. That means start from index 2 and go till the end. That means you are going to get 375. So output is 375. So the first output that we are getting is 4, that is a value of C, and the value of N is value of Mantissa is 375. Okay, so what will be the here answer? Like C, we were asked to find the value of C and the value of Mantissa. So C value is 4, we got 4, and the Mantissa value is 375. Okay, now let us see the next question that we have. These are very important, similar to this you will get in your exam. So try to solve as many problems as you find in your sample paper or in the previous question bank. Okay, so let us see the next one. This is very important, and this concept I have already explained during when I was explaining about mutable and immutable. Okay, so here we see like s1 says yes and s2 says yes. So two string points to the same string pool. So inside the string pool, s1 is also pointing to yes, and this is the string pool, suppose, and there is one other one that also points to the same string. Okay, so suppose this complete is a string pool. So S1 is pointing and this one is the heap. S1 is pointing to this yes, and S2 is also pointing to this S. Now S3 is there and S3 is pointing to a new string, that means a new object reference, but the value is same as the S1. The value of S1 is what? Yes. So it is going to get a new memory address, and here S3 is going to be present and here it is pointing yes. And we have one more variable that says S4. Now S4 is pointing to S3. So where S3 is pointing? S3 is pointing here. Okay, that means S4 is keeping the reference of S3. That is a memory address. Now here, if you see, the first question that is asked is S1, is S1 first, S1 double is equals to S2 or not? That means here we are checking, whether it is same or not. Okay, so here if you see S1 when compared to S2, the value are same, and also it is pointing to the same memory location. So here we are comparing whether the values where it is pointing is same or not. When you don't say equals, when you say double equals to, so you are comparing the value along with where it is pointing to. Is it pointing to the same one or not? So in this case, the value is also same and it is pointing to the same address. That means it is true. The output will be true. Next that we have s1 dot equals s2. Is the value inside that location is equal to the value of the second one? Yes. In the previous case, we were comparing where it is pointing. Is it the same memory address? And yes, if it is same, then it is true. And this case, we are not comparing the memory address. Rather, we are comparing the value. S1 dot equals compares a value. So what is the value of S1? Yes. And what is the value of S2? S. So the second one will also be true. Third that we have, third says S1 dot equals S3. Is S1 is also yes, S3 is also yes. Is the value same? S3 is pointing here, but is the value same as S1? Yes. So this will also be true. Then we have S1 dot equals, it is the same thing, S1 dot equals. So you take an example of the last one. We can ignore this. Let me remove. So we can take an example of the last one, that is S3 dot equals S4. That means is the value present inside S3 and S4, although it is pointing to the same, that means even though we do double equals to or we do dot equals, the value will be true. So in this case also we will get true. Okay, I hope so. And I hope so. All the doubts or all the concepts regarding this is very much clear, right? So this one we were comparing, this one we had to remove. Okay. Okay. Let's move into the next topic. That is a very last topic of our lecture. That is a program. And here we are going to solve the important program. And these program or the concept that we are going to solve over here is going to help you in solving other complex problem as well. But these problem, what I have mentioned over here, almost 7 program, is really important for your exam. And this has been asked multiple times in the board exam. Okay, so let's get started with the first program that we have. Let us see. First program says write a program to accept a string and display the reverse string. So whenever you get any problem, okay, so let me first copy this and this is a reverse. So let's get started writing the program. Reverse dot Java. I'm using the local ID. You can use your NetBean or any other ID that you are using, and there you'll there basically you don't create the file like this way, but take the reference of the whatever ID you are using and do the accordingly the same steps that you followed, write the program. Okay, so I have created one file that says .java, and here we can write the program for the first one. So let me first add as a comment. This is a question that we have, and okay, so here it says write a program to accept a string and display the reverse string. So you are asked to reverse the given string. So from the left, you have to start, and then whatever was in the beginning, that will go in the end. So whenever you solve any problem or any program, basically you should first see the approach. What approach will help me to get the end result? So here, if you think a bit, here it says like you have to reverse it. So if I have to reverse it, that means if I will iterate from the end, if I will iterate from the end and I will go in the reverse order and I will create one more string and I will append all the values that I get into the new one, I'll get the desired output. What I say is like, suppose you have hello. Now, instead of moving from here, you can iterate in a loop. You can create one loop that says starting from this. So this is index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you do this string dot length, you will get 5. So what you can say, I'll start from length minus 1. What is the length? Length is 5. That is always the length is index plus 1, last index plus 1. All right, or you count from 1. So here it says 4. The index is 4, that is index is length. Now what I say you have to reverse it. So instead of going from the front, you can come from the back. You can start the loop from the fourth index, that is length minus 1, and you can go till 0. If you start from here and you go in this direction till the 0th index, so you will get the desired string. Okay, let's solve this and see what basically I meant. Okay, so let me quickly create the main method. Public static void main string args. After this, what we can do, we have to accept a string. To accept a string, we already know we have to import scanner. We are here, will solve using scanner. There is two ways to take input. One is a scanner and one is a buffer reader. Either way, either one you can choose. Here I'll select scanner. So to take input, first you have to create an object of the scanner. So let us create scanner sc is equals to new scanner, and in this we have to pass system dot in. Okay, so we have created the scanner object, and scanner, whenever we use a scanner object, we need to import it from util package. Okay, so here if we see, we are importing it from the util package. Okay, next what we will do, now we'll take as an input one string and we'll try to reverse it. So let me create one more variable, that is string rev, and this is an empty string. Sorry, this points an empty string. Now what we can do, as I mentioned you, if you start the loop from the back and then go till the 0th index, that is length minus 1 till 0, you will get the desired result. So we can start a loop for int I is equals to, we can find the length. So before this, you have to take input. We have created the object but haven't taken the input. So let's create one more variable before this, string str is equals to sc dot next line. So with this next line, we'll get the input from the user, and what we will do, we'll create one more variable that says rev, and in this rev we will store the reversed of that string. So what we are going to do is, like, we are going to start from the index minus 1. So we will say start from str dot length minus 1, and we are going till when till it is greater than or equal to 0, till 0, from minus 1, that is length minus 1, till 0 we are iterating, that is in the reverse order, and we'll do minus minus. So whenever we are doing in a reverse order, we will do minus minus instead of plus plus. Okay, now what we are going to do, as we are iterating from the back, we have to extract one character. character by character. How we can extract a character? We have already learned. Let me create one variable that says char ch, and here we can extract the character. What character is present at that index, that is at the end. It is starting from the last. So what is present at the last? How we can extract any character at any given position? We learned the first method, that is charAt. So we can use str dot charAt I. So this will return what is present inside that index. Okay, so we will get that value, whatever character is present. Then what we will do, reverse, we will concat that with reverse. Whatever we got, we will concat with that reverse. We learned already how to do concat. We can say reverse is equals to reverse plus this char. But here like you see, like we have this ref that is having an empty string, and this is a character. When we do concatenation with any string, like a string when done is concatenated with character, it will get appended. Okay, next what we see is like we have appended that string, and this loop will go whatever is the length of that string. Okay, so for that many time this loop will run, and by the end of this loop, when this loop ends from here till here, after this I'll have the reversed string into this variable. Now I can simply do system.out.println, and here will be ref. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. Have a look, like we are importing, that is we are taking an input using scanner. Then what we are doing, we are creating one more variable that says a ref, and we are iterating from the back till the 0th index, and then we are just appending or concatenating with the ref. So initially rev is empty string, and then it is getting concatenated from one character by character, and this rev is growing, and we will have the reversed string. Okay, now let me run this. So whichever ID you are using, probably you can click on compile and then you can do run. But here I'm using the local ID, so I have to write some command. So here let me compile this. So even whatever ID you use, first you need to compile. So similarly, I'm compiling using Java compiler, and then I say the file name. So the file name is reverse.java. After this, I'll do run the program. To run the program, I have to say java dot class name, and the class name is reverse. So here first we have to input some string. So what was the input string? The input string was code to serve academy. Now if we pass that here and hit enter, let's see are we getting the reverse string or not. So if we match this, we are getting the same reverse string. Okay, so using this concept we can reverse any given string. Okay, at the end, I will show you by using StringBuffer, we can reverse in just one line instead of this, but that is not in syllabus. So we have to learn this way how to reverse a given string. It is very simple, straightforward. Let's move to the next question that we have. Next question says, write a program, write a Java method or a program to check if the string is palindrome or not. So what is palindrome? If you reverse that string and you get the same string, that becomes palindrome. So here, if you say code to serve academy, if you reverse, that is not a palindrome. But if you reverse lol, so you will get true. So here, let us reverse that and see like we are getting that as true or false. So we can utilize the same concept that we have learned in the previous one, that is how to reverse. First, for this palindrome also you need to know how to reverse a given string. Once you know how to reverse, just you have to do one comparison, simple comparison with the initial string with the reverse string. If both are equal, that is s1 dot equals s2, that means it is palindrome, else it is not palindrome. So there is one more line, just one line addition in this program, and it becomes similar to what we have in reverse. Okay. Okay, let's solve this problem. So let me create one more file that says palindrome, and inside this, similarly, I'll create the main method. It's straightforward. Let's copy the same thing, whatever content we had last time in the case of a reverse, but because we are going to use the same concept of reverse. Okay, so let us copy from scanner till here, and let's utilize the same one over here. Scanner is not okay, scanner is now imported. Now let's me add the question as a comment over here. Okay, so this time it is a palindrome. How we can solve the palindrome program? Let us see. We have already done the reverse by this time. We already have the reversed string by this time. Now what we have to do is we have to just compare it. How we can compare? After reversing, like after iterating, what we have to do, we have to just check. So before that, like we str1 contains the initial string and rev contains the final string after reversing. So what we can do, we can just do a comparison if str dot equals rev, and if these two are equal, then we will say system dot out dot println yes, or whatever was required. We have to print true or false. So in this case, it will be true, and in the else case, it is going to be false. Now, similarly, let us run the program and see. Now, if we run it, so we need to give the input. Let's give the same input first. Hit enter. We are getting false. Now let's run the same program again. Now this time pass LOL. Now if we do, we are getting true. That means a program that we have done is absolutely correct. Okay, so you can take a pause and check the program over here, right? It's pretty much the same. Only thing that we have done is we have added a check. Like if it is equals, then we are doing yes, it is a palindrome, and if no, then it is not equal to that, then we are saying no. In your exam, there can be a question like don't compare the case, right? In that case, you have to do equals ignore case. Okay. I hope it is clear. Let's move toward the third question. Now let us see the third question. Here it says like we have to write a program to accept a string and display the text with a reversed case. That means if the case the at any position, if the case is capital, then you have to reverse it to small, and if it is a small, you have to reverse to capital. You have to ignore those numbers, like, right? You have to only update it for the character, that is the alphabets. Okay, first let's understand what will be the approach that we should follow to solve this problem. Okay, and this was asked in ICSE 2008. So let us see what approach we are going to take. We can do one thing, like we can iterate over the string whatever we have from the initial position. We can iterate over the string from the index 0 till the end of the string, n minus 1, whatever is the length. And what we can say, we can check whether this is, suppose this is C, we'll see if this C is in capital. That means how we can get if the C is in capital or lower? We know the ASCII. If the ASCII is from 65 and it is greater than equal to 65 and it is less than equal to 90, then we say whatever will fall inside this range will be uppercase. Uppercase, right? Similarly, if we say whatever falls inside this range that is greater than 97 and is less than equal to 122 is in small case. And whatever is in between or above or lower than this, we have to ignore that. So we got the concept. First, what you have to check, we have to check this whether it lies in this, else we have to check whether it lies in this, and in the third case we have to copy as it is. Now take an example. If C is there, C falls into which category? C falls into the category of, capital C falls into the category of 1. Okay, that means if it is falling inside this, it will convert it to small c, right? Now if you have, suppose, numeric 2, numeric 2 neither falls in this, neither falls in this, so we will have as it is. So you will copy as it is. So we got the steps. What we have to do, we have to check whether that it falls in that range or not, and how you can convert from this to this range. So if you see the difference, 97 minus 65, the difference is 32. So if you have capital A and if you have small a and you want to bring it to suppose if you have a small a, that is a small a here, and if you want to make it capital A, that means you are going to subtract 32. Similarly, if you have capital A and you want to go to small a, then you are going to add 30 to it. Okay, so from this direction to this direction, from capital to smaller, if you are going, you have to subtract 32. And if you are going in a reverse direction from here to here, you have to do plus 32. So this is the concept. So using this concept, we can solve this problem very easily. Okay, let's see how. Oh, let's start this quickly. Now, what we'll do the same thing, like we'll create the scanner. Sc is equals to new scanner and we'll pass system dot in. All right. Now what we'll do, we have to input a string. So we'll do string str is equals to sc dot next line. Okay. Now we have to get a new string. That means you have to change the case. So we'll create one more string and we'll say it result and we'll store an empty string to it. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to iterate. As I told you, we are going to iterate over each and every one, and we are going to find the what character it is and which range it is falling to. So we will say char ch and we will create one more. Okay, we'll create char, and now what we are going to do, we are going to loop through it. So we'll say int I is equals to 0, I less than str dot length and I plus plus. Now what we are going to do, we are going to get each character. Ch is equals to str dot char at I. So we'll get the character at that particular position, that is the index 0 in the first case, and then we are going to compare if, now we are going to say if ch is greater than equal to 65 and ch is less than equal to 90, that means it falls into the category of uppercase. Okay, if this is the case, then it falls into the category of uppercase. Then what we have to do, if ch, now I knew like the if ch is of this range, that means ch is in uppercase, and if ch is in uppercase, then what I am going to do, I am going to do into lowercase. I told you from uppercase you can go to the lowercase by adding 30 to it. How? A is 65 and a small a is 97. So if you add plus 32, then you will go to that smaller case. So we'll say whatever that character is, we are going to do plus of 32. Okay. So we did add the value 30 to it. So here, why, how we are able to add it, since this is a character, how we are able to do it? So whenever we add it, it gets converted into the ASCII value and we get return back the character of that added ASCII value. So here when we add it to the character, so here we are getting back the character itself after adding. Okay. Next, what we'll say, else if character is of greater than equal to 97 and character is less than equal to 122, then I will say character minus is equals to 32. That means it is a small cap and I want to go into the uppercase. Else it is going to be nothing, right? I mean, if these two are the scenarios, then only I am going to do, else character is going to remain the same, right? Now after this, what I am going to do, we are going to add to this. Basically, we are going to add to the result. Initially, the result was empty. Now we got some character. We checked which range it is in. It is in uppercase, converted to lowercase, lowercase, convert to uppercase. And if it is not the alphabet, it is numeric, let it be as it is. So in the same scenario, we are letting it to be as it is. Now we will do at the end, like result was initially empty, so we'll do plus, that means we'll concatenate the empty string with the first character that we got, so we'll say plus with the character. Okay, now after iterating through the loop, after completing this loop, once we move out of this loop, we will get the final result in this res variable. So we can do system dot out dot println, and we can say print this res. Okay, let me zoom it down and you can pause the video and can have a look like what we have done. Let me run the program. And the name of the file is Javad. We have to do to compile Javad reverse case dot java, then we do java. You all don't have to remember this, since I am running in the local. You can just click on that compile and click on run. So we need to give the input, so let us give the input thus, and we are getting code to serve academy, right? So we have got the exact output. That means our program is absolutely correct. Now let us move to the next question that we have. We have already solved question number 1, 2, 3, and let's go to the question number 4. So let's first see what is this. So write a program to accept a string and change the first character of every word to uppercase. Last time, whatever we were doing, we were changing the case, but this time you are asked to change the case of the first character of every word. So wherever we find the word, we have to change the case of the first character itself. So what is the approach? You think how you are going to know how many words are there first. So you are going to count the white spaces. If you count the white spaces, that means you are going to get the words, right? That is the starting position of that word. This there is different way to do this. So let me discuss one solution, then we can follow that approach. Okay, let us see this. Suppose if we have one string that says uh, let me hello, and we have world. We have this string. Now what we have been asked, we are asked to convert the case of every first word. So what we can do is we can start, now you see, like we can start, suppose whatever the string is, we say like the first character of that string to uppercase, right? So we can convert this first character, charAt 0 to uppercase if the length is greater than 0. If the length is greater than 0, that means my first character, after trimming, we can do trim as well. If we do the trim of this, so whatever white space is present before and after will get removed, and whatever is left, if when we do the length, and if that length is greater than 0, if the length is greater than 0, then what we can do, the first character that we have, let's convert it into capital. And after converting into capital, we can start the loop from the index 1. From the index 1. We start the loop from the index 1 till the last index. Okay, so length minus 1. And now what we are going to do, we are going to see, if the previous think about it. I'm telling the previous is the previous character and white space. No. Here, no. Here, no. Here, no. When I reach here and I say, is the previous character white space? Yes. So when the previous character I see it's in white space, I will update the current character to uppercase. I'll update this time to uppercase. So there are different ways to handle this. So this is the easiest way. Let's solve the problem and then we'll see. It was really easy. Let's solve this problem. Okay, so here it's the same. We are taking input using scanner, and now we are declaring one variable string str is equals to sc dot next line. Now after getting this, we will get the result in another string. So probably what we'll do, we'll create one more variable. So let's create one more variable that we say string res, and we assign this with an empty string. Okay, so now what we are going to do, as we discuss the concept, we are going to find the length. Int length is equals to str dot length. So if the length is greater than 0, and whatever string that we are getting, let's trim it. So even it presents the basically your white space before and after, that will get removed. We can trim. The reason why I'm trimming is like if we get an empty white space in the beginning, that we can trim so that our concept or the logic here, it will work if there is so many white space in front. Okay. Without that also it will work, but you have to check or add some condition. So let's see over here what we are doing over here. I'm checking now after trimming if length is greater than 0, that means I can do the first character to uppercase. So what I can do is have a look here. I will say response is equals to the first character should be in uppercase. So how I can convert into uppercase? I can get that character. So declare one more variable ch, okay, and here we can do ch is equals to char str dot char at 0. So whatever is present inside that 0th position, we are going to convert first to uppercase. So we'll do whatever we got it here, we are going to say like convert this to uppercase. How we can do convert character to uppercase? We haven't learned character to uppercase, but we have learned string to uppercase. And we have also learned to convert character into string. So what we will do string dot value of, we are going to convert this first character into a string, then we can do uppercase. So we will do this character, so we'll get a string output and then we can apply to uppercase to this. So first what we did, we converted the character into a string, and now in that string we are doing to uppercase, and now we are getting the converted case. Okay, now what we can do is the one that we have done over here, same thing, like after this we have to iterate a loop and apply the same condition over here, but when we have to do the, when we get the previous value wherever we are iterating and the previous value is space, then the current value we are updating the case. That means every starting word, like the first starting word we have already updated it, and from the next word what we are going to do, whenever we get the previous value as a white space, then the current value we are going to update the case. So let me see. So here we are going to start from int I is equals to 1. Why from 1? 0th index we have already updated the case. Now we don't need to do it from 0. So we will do I is less than len and I plus plus. Now what we are going to do, we are going to do the same thing. First we are going to get the character, and now we are going to compare if this character is a white space character, character double equals to white space character, and if this is a white space character, then what I am going to do, before adding it to the previous string, I have to update this character. Okay, so what I will do, uh, character is equals to, we have to update the case of it. So we'll say character is equals to str dot, we have already got the character of it. Now how we can change the case of it? So we can change the case. That means whatever is the case, like if it is an uppercase, we have to convert to lowercase, and basically if it is a lowercase, we have to convert it into uppercase. So how we'll know if this character is in uppercase or lowercase? There is two ways to do. Basically, you convert this character to string again, and then basically add it to the ref. That is one way. The other way is the last time when we have discussed, like we can do the plus or do the check range, like if it is lying between this and this, right? So we can apply the same thing. So we will check if ch is greater than equal to, so what you have to do? We have to do for lowercase. And if ch is greater than equal to 97 and ch is less than equal to 122, that means this is in a small case. If this is a small case, then we are going to say ch minus is equals to 32, right? And for the remaining scenarios, first we are checking if the previous is a white space or not. So this is for the current. This is for the current. We have to compare the previous one. So let us create one more character, that is previous, PRAV, and we are going to get it PREV by charAt I minus 1, I minus 1, and here it will be charAt I. This is the current character and the previous character we are taking. And we have to check, here was a mistake, we have to check the previous character. If that previous character is basically a white space, that means the current character, you have to check for the current character. If the previous character is a white space, that means here is the starting, that means ch is the starting of a new character. So here we'll see, like if this ch is greater than equal to 97 and less than equals to 122, that means it is in small cap. If it is in small cap, that means I have to subtract 32 and I'll get the corresponding capital case, right? So I will do ch minus 32. Okay. And if this is not the case, that means the letter is already in capital. So we'll get that here itself. So we'll leave as it is. So only when it is in lowercase, I'm going to convert it. And if it is out of this range, I'm still going to leave as it is. Suppose example of 2. So is ch will remain as 2, right? And if only if there is a white space and if it is in small cap, then only it is going to change. This is more optimal solution that we are writing. And then at the end, what we are doing, we are adding it to rev, and we say rev plus is equals to ch. Okay, that is a result. This time we have created result variable, and after iterating till here, we will have the final result, and we can print it system dot out dot print, and we can say response. Now let's quickly have a look. You can pause the video and can have a look at the program. Like what we are doing, we are taking the input, then we are creating one more variable and a character variable to store the character at given position. And now I told you, like if the length, sorry, this is a program. So now what I told you, if the length, whatever the length that we are checking, if it is greater than 0, that means the first is your first character. You have to always update it to uppercase. Why we are doing this? You think of, like, if you'll not, the logic that we have written is we are trying to find the previous white space. Then we are assuming that the next one is a starting word, right? If you don't do this way, you have to do one thing. You have to append yourself one character, one white space in the beginning, right? And then you can start from 0 itself. That is one approach. Other approaches, for the starting 0th index, you check if the length is greater than 0, then you update the first character yourself. That means always your first character has to be updated, whether it's upper or lower case, right? Here also we can apply the same logic what we have applied over here. Okay, but it's straightforward, so we have applied directly over here. Now what we are doing, we are iterating from one and then checking if the previous one is your white space, then I'm the current one, I'm updating to lowercase, that is sorry, uppercase, that I'm subtracting the ASCII 32 to from it, right? Now let's run it. Now let's give the same input what we have, hit enter. Now we see C is capital, A is capital, I is capital, L is capital, B is capital, and A is capital. We are getting one extra percentage here. That means like that is if we have to print one more ln at the end, right? If we print ln at the end, we'll not get that white space percentage. That is not of the care for now, but we are getting the exact output what was required to be done. Okay, I hope you got the concept what we are and how we are trying to achieve the same. I may zoom in. You can take a snap of it if you want, or you can pause and note down the program. Okay, now let us first understand the concept how we are going to achieve this question. Right here it says program to accept the string and print the length of the longest word in the given string. Now you have to find the longest word in the given string. Okay, how we can achieve that? Let's see. Suppose you have hello world, hello world. How you are going to find the longest word? Here the first one, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. Suppose here is s appended to it, hello worlds. So then it is 5 and it is 6. So the output should be 6. How we are going to approach for this? We can do one thing, like we can create one counter variable, like the counter variable that is c, and one is the maximum length. One will count the current maximum and one will count the maximum it has got so far, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to start from here, from the 0th index, and we are going until we find white space. As soon as we find white space, what we are going to do, we are going to start from the starting index, and one more start we have to take, and start should be 0. Start should be equals to 0. Okay, now what we are saying, start is 0, that we are starting from 0 and we are going we are iterating in the loop, that is a for loop. We are iterating forward, and then what we are doing is, like whenever we are finding a white space, we are stopping. And what we are doing after stopping, we are doing a substring. We are doing a slice. Slice means from the start, from the start from the start, that is index 0, till white space minus 1. White space minus 1. That means suppose I is over here, that means I is at 6, I is at position 6. If I do substring from 0 to 6, I will get the word from 0 to 5. That means I will get hello. Now if I get hello from a substring, then I can apply dot length. Now if I apply dot length, I will get the length of the first. Similarly, once I get a white space, this start I have to move white space to white space plus 1. You got the concept? Like we are going to start from 0 and we are going to scan forward, and whenever we get a white space, we stop there, we get a slice, we find the length. Now what we do, the start was here, start was pointing here, now start will point to white space plus 1. And now again from white space we are counting and we are going till the end of that string or wherever we are finding a white space, and then again we are doing a substring, and then we are checking if the length is greater than the previous one or not. If the length is greater than the previous one, then we are stopped. Okay, now let's get started and solve the problem quickly. Okay, so here we have to take input string str is equals to sc dot next line. After taking the input into the next line, we have to find uh, what you say the longest word. So as I told you, we have to create one starting index start, that will be 0, and then we have to create length. Already we can know it, so we also take it length. And then what we do, first is a start, then is a length, and basically then we can go forward and create one more L, longest. Let's assign these to 0. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to start the loop for int I is equals to 0, I less than str dot length, or length we have already taken it out here, I plus plus. Now what we are telling, if we get a white space, okay, let me clear this. If we get a white space, what we have to do, let's see over here, and also ch to get the character at the current position, ch. We'll say ch is equals to str dot char at I. We got that character. We got the character what is present in that index. After that, what we have to do is we got the character. Now we have to check whether that is a white space or not. Okay. If that is a white space, then we have to stop there. So we'll check if ch double equals to white space, whatever character we have extracted is a white space or not. If that is a white space, that means I have to stop and do a substring. And after doing a substring, I need to find the length. What is the length of it? So I will say the current count is equals to 0. That is a current count, that is a current length. Okay, so we can say that count is equals to, what is a count? We have to do a substring. How we can do a substring? We can do str dot substring, and here we can pass the start. And basically now in this position, at the position of I, we have got the white space. That means till that position, that means that is not included, the previous one is included. By till there we got a slice, and after getting a slice we can dot do tool we can do length, and we'll get the length of that slice. And now we'll check if this length that we got, the current length, the hello that we got is greater than longest or not. If it is greater than longest was initially 0, and now when we got the count, now count as 5. Now we compare whether this 5 is greater than 0 or not. Yes, it is greater than 0. Then I will say longest word so far I have got is the count, that is 5. Now what we have to do, the start was residing at 0. Now when you got a white space, I told you the concept, the start should move towards white space plus 1. So we will say start is equals to white space plus 1. Where is white space? White space is at I, current I, and we are going to do plus 1. Okay, this is a concept. Now what will happen, whether we got a white space, suppose at the last word, that will be the last word, so there will be no white space after that. That means what we have to do, either ch is a white space, or I double is equals to length minus 1. That means if I have reached to the last position or I have got a white space, then I have to do this operation. Okay, after doing this, after the end of this program, I'll get the longest word in the longest variable. System dot out dot print longest. Okay. Uh, I'll pause it for a second, have a look. Okay. Now let's run this. Let's copy this and then we do Java longest word. Now here let's input this. We should get 10, but we are getting here 0. Why? Let's debug why we are getting 0. So we are telling count is 0, length is 0. Okay, so the reason why we are getting 0, the length we have assigned to 0. Length will be, length is equals to str dot length. Okay, now let's again compile and again run it. So now paste it. We are getting 16. Is it 16? Still we are making some mistake. Let's again debug where we are doing the mistake. We are telling like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It should be 10. So let's see where we have done the mistake. Okay, so here is our mistake. So what we are doing, we are updating the start to white space +1 only when we are getting the longest word. But that should not be the case. You should always update it whether you get the longest word or not, right? So it should be out of this scope, right? So we are just checking what is the current length. If the current length is greater than this, then I update the count and I like the move the start from the 0th index till white space +1 always, whether that is the first word that I have got is the longest or not. Irrespective of that, I have to move that start, right? So again, I can do a slice from the next word, and again, I can do the slice for the next word, right? So this was a mistake. Now let me pause for a second. You can go through that and let me run it. Let's paste it. Oh, we haven't saved it. Okay. Now let's paste it. So we are getting 10 as an output. Okay. So here you can take a pause and take a snap of this if you want. I hope this program is very much clear to you. And whenever you get a new program, try to solve how basically you are going to reach to the destination. Based on that logic, you try to implement the same in the code. You will get the answer, right? Let us see the next program that we have. The next program says you have to accept a string and convert to an uppercase and then display the number of double letter sequence in the given string. Double letter sequence, that means how many double letters are there. That means you have to check the current plus one. If they both are same, that means you got a count of 1. Similarly, you have to increase the count. It is very easy. It was asked in 2012. And what you have to do, you have to check the current plus the next. Pause the video, try it yourself, and then match the solution over here. Okay, let's try to solve this quickly. Like here uh, we created the string scanner object, and then we created one string variable, and then we are going to take an input in that. And then what we are going to do is we are going to iterate. Basically, whatever problem that you get in string, mostly you can solve using iterating it from the index 0 till the end of that string. So here we have to check the two sequences same or not. Okay, so let's create the char ch current, and let's create a count, and that is equals to 0. What we are going to do, we are going to iterate int I is equals to 0, I less than str dot length and I plus plus. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to get the current character, that is str dot char at I. And after this, what we are going to do, we are going to check if the current character, if the current character double is equals to str dot char at I plus 1. So we are checking like the current character is greater than the current character plus 1, right? So if that is the case, then we are saying count plus plus. So whatever is the current character, and if it is same as the current character plus 1, then we are doing count plus plus. So in this scenario, whenever you are comparing the next string, always keep in mind you take minus 1, less than 1. The reason is when you will be in the last index, then you, when you will compare the next index, then probably you will get a bound error, right? To be safe, like you go less than 2. That means when you are on the last, second last, you'll be comparing the last one. Okay, so that is why whenever you do next comparison, you always take less than 1, and when you do the previous comparison, you always start from 1. Okay, so in this case, what we have done, we have taken the count and we are checking if it is same, right? And after this iteration, we'll get the final count. So we can do system.out.println and we can print the count. Now here, let me run the program. Java next. Oh, sorry. It will be double count. So let me give the same input whatever given here, and we should get 1 as our output. We are getting 1. That means we have correctly solved the problem. Okay, I hope you got the concept what I am trying to deliver throughout this lecture. If you still have any doubt, please post it in the comment box. We have the last topic, that is the last question. It is also very important, but I would like you to try the same. I'll post the same solution. If you're not able to solve it, then I'll post the solution and I'll add the link in the description. Okay, I'll give you a hint how to solve this, how to approach the last question. You have to find the frequency, and this is very important. You can solve in many different ways, but the way that I am telling you is like creating a string by creating an integer array. Like if you create an integer array, like let me show you. What you can do is by creating an integer array, you can create of 26 size integer array. Okay, so starting from 0 till index will be till 25. Now what you do, whatever string that comes, like that you get a, that means you think like a is pointing to 65. You first convert into uppercase and then you think a is 65, then b is your index 1, that is 66. So when you get a, you go to the 0th index and increase the count to it. When you get b, go to the first index and increase the count to it. When you get Z, go to the last index and increase the count to it. Now you iterate through the loop, iterate through this from 0 to this, and you see whose count is greater than 0. Whoever count is greater than 0, you print the ASCII value of that. How you'll print the ASCII value of 0? ASCII value of 0, you can do 0 plus whatever is the value, that is I plus 65. If you do I plus 65, you get A. I plus 65, that is 1 plus 65, you get B, that is 66. Similarly, you can go on doing this, and you can first print the character, that is A, D, whatever is present in it. Wherever you find non-zero inside this, that means you have to print that character's positions ASCII value. How you can do the positions ASCII value? I already told you, I plus 65. With this formula, you can get the positions ASCII value, and if you convert that, you'll get the character. So the character array is sorted. Wherever you have 0, wherever it is greater than 0, you print the ASCII value of that index character. Okay, sorry, the print the character of that index ASCII. Okay, whatever it is corresponding to, right? And then for the frequency, again you iterate one more loop. First loop for the character, and the second loop for basically your index, right? Like the value, whatever the value is there, right? So whenever you find it, the value is greater than 0, then basically you print that. And if that value is if it is 0 and not greater than 0, then you skip that, right? You apply this concept and try to solve it. If you are not able to solve, I'll add the solutions, all the solution, and we'll attach that link over there. At the later, you can go and check out. I hope you liked this video, and this was very important. Wherever you felt any doubt, go and watch the portion again, right? Thank you.